We will enter a pleas of not guilty and denials of the allegation.
That was PG&E's defense attorney, Brad Bryan, this morning, entering the company's plea of not guilty to felony manslaughter and several other alleged crimes. The company faces 11 counts after its power lines started the Zogg Fire. The fire killed these 4 people in September of 2020. 8-year-old Fayla McLeod and her mom, Elena, died running from the fire. Their neighbors, Karen King and Ken Vossen, also died in the small community of Igo in the hills near Redding. Brandon Ritteman just back from court in Shasta County today. Are these manslaughter charges actually going to go to a jury trial?
You know, a year or so ago when I talked to the prosecutors, they were predicting a trial was somewhat unlikely. But now it really appears that this is the course we're on. In fact, the judge set a trial date today for June 6th. So it's conceivable we're going to get to a trial as early as this summer.
We certainly are ready to go and prove our case.
And remind us why prosecutors charged PG&E with these crimes.
Yeah, no, so the Zogg Fire started when a badly injured gray pine tree fell onto power lines in a windstorm. Now, PG&E doesn't dispute that part, but it does deny committing criminal negligence. Prosecutors beg to differ. PG&E has a duty to cut and trim trees that pose a threat to its lines. The DA says PG&E contractors marked this injured tree leaning over the power lines as a known hazard back in 2018. That was 2 years before it fell and started the Zogg Fire, but no one from the company ever followed up to have that tree cut down.
Is there any chance that PG&E could avoid trial?
Well, I mean, they could always plead guilty. That would avoid a trial. The family of Fayla and Elena McLeod certainly want them to. I talked on the phone with Susie Bewley. She's Fayla McLeod's grandma.
Own up to what you did. An 8-year-old little girl, PG&E, took her life. Everything. And I'm angry. And I don't want to see it happen again.
That was heavy. I mean, the family even deciding that they didn't want to be in court today.
Yeah, I mean, it's very emotional from them, really, really hard for them to show up in court. They've done that at times in the preliminary hearing, but not today. Now, getting back to your question, though, about the trial, a judge ruled that PG&E has to answer for these criminal charges in a jury trial. PG&E does have the right to ask for a second judge to review that ruling. PG&E's lawyers said today they're considering that. It is a high bar. PG&E would have to convince the second judge that the first judge got something wrong. That doesn't happen very often, but even just going through the motions of that appeal of the preliminary hearing could delay this case some. We don't know at this point.
Okay, Brandon, while all this is happening, we did get something out of left field.
Yeah.
You're hearing from some PG&E workers that are upset about a video that the company released to its employees just hours before this manslaughter hearing where PG&E has to enter its plea. You got a copy of it, so let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Love will keep us together.
So we obtained this internal PG&E music video made for Valentine's Day yesterday. It features CEO Patty Poppy right here and other PG&E leaders lip syncing and dancing to the 70s pop hit Love Will Keep Us Together by Captain and Tennille. One PG&E employee called this video tone deaf to release it, especially the day before the Zogg case was due in court. The McLeod family felt similarly.
Very insensitive. Very, very insensitive.
Oddly enough, the lyrics of this particular song have some double meanings in the context of PG&E. For instance, the Zogg Fire was started by a power line PG&E chose to leave on during a windstorm while it was turning other power lines off to prevent wildfires. And the song has this line.
When the others turn you on, who'll be turning you on? I will.
One PG&E employee told us the video's slick production is what really upset him. We are told to watch expenses, he told me, and then we see the executives doing this with PG&E's resources.
And the CEO, she put out this video the day before that she's supposed to be in court to plead not guilty.
Well, Patty Poppy actually didn't come to court today. She sent a company representative to be there to enter the plea. And there was actually a surreal moment before the judge came in. The bailiff came up to PG&E's legal team to ask for the company's thumbprint because a person who was charged with these same crimes would have to give a fingerprint and a DNA sample at this point in the case. One of PG&E's lawyers said corporate entities don't have thumbprints. I checked with the court administration. He was right. PG&E actually doesn't have to give a thumbprint. Just like PG&E didn't have to go to prison after it pleaded guilty to 84 manslaughter felonies in the Camp Fire that destroyed Paradise, corporations don't have risks to put handcuffs on, so their sentence was to pay a few $1 million fine instead of the 90 years behind bars that you or I would get for the same crimes.
All right, Brandon, thank you for the update. We appreciate it. As always, you can catch Firepower Money. All you have to do is go to abc10.com and you can catch up on all of Brandon's reporting. And we received a statement this evening from PG&E on that internal video. They say, quote, building a strong culture within PG&E is an essential part of the new company we are becoming, as CEO Patty Poppe noted when she shared the video with coworkers. I believe that love is a powerful force, and in fact, it's necessary to help us do our best work for our customers, our hometowns, and each other.